Hey guys, it's Marcus from Perspective Sports, and today we're going to take a look at what's wrong with Packers star quarterback Aaron Rodgers. And this is a pretty complicated thing to figure out because he's not by any stretch of the imagination terrible. He's still 8th in total touchdown passes and 5th in adjusted QBR, but he's by far not himself. Rodgers is 26th in total passing yards and has thrown 4 interceptions, and 3 of them have been at Lambeau. There was a point in time where Rodgers throwing a pick in Green Bay was thought of as pretty much impossible. Rodgers went almost 3 years without throwing a pick at home, from December of 2012 to October of 2015. But now it seems as if he's just giving the ball to the defense. And I'm not sure it's completely Rodgers' fault why he and the team is struggling. Don't get me wrong, Rodgers isn't getting off scot-free here, not by any stretch. But he's a small, minuscule piece to the Packers' problem. And either way, Aaron Rodgers is still a top 2 quarterback in the game right now, whether you believe it or not. He may not be playing like it, but he is. And now I'm going to give you 3 reasons why I believe the Packers and Rodgers are struggling. And reason number 1 is play calling. The Packers have become way too predictable when it comes to play calling. The Packers don't run. They don't run the ball. Starting Packers running back Eddie Lacy hasn't carried the ball more than 17 times in a game this season and has yet to score a rushing touchdown. And he's averaging 5 yards a carry. How can you win a football game playing one-dimensional? The Dallas Cowboys and the New York Giants literally rushed 3 guys, and dropped 8 into coverage. Ladies and gentlemen, that's how you beat Green Bay. Give Rodgers all day, because you're not getting through that great offensive line with just 3 guys. And Rodgers is at his best when he has to improvise. Force him to move around, and he embellishes in those kinds of moments. Hence the 2 Hail Marys last season, the touchdown versus Chicago that sent Green Bay to the playoffs a few seasons ago, etc. But the Packers head coach Mike McCarthy literally expects Rodgers to do this every play. Green Bay doesn't have very fast receivers outside of Ty Montgomery and Trevor Davis, the rookie. But the Packers continue to call plays that require receivers to get a bunch of separation, or at least a considerable amount of separation, in order for Rodgers to make a justifiable throw. And last season, McCarthy gave up the play calling to Tom Clemens, and somehow it got worse. Then McCarthy retook the play calling duties, and that's the moment I realized McCarthy and Clemens, one, don't know what they're doing with this offense, and they are literally one and the same when it comes to play calling. Now on to the second reason, which is poor management. The Packers have had 2 of the top 5 quarterbacks in NFL history in Brett Favre and Aaron Rodgers, and have only managed to win 2 Super Bowls in 20 years. An example of how bad the management has been, a little after winning Super Bowl XLV against the Steelers, the Packers made a huge change. They changed offensive coordinators, promoting then offensive coordinator Tom Clemens to head associate coach, and then hiring Edgar Bennett as the new offensive coordinator. And Rodgers hasn't been the same since. Also, the Packers have made no effort to put talent around Rodgers outside of the draft, and have made 2 notable free agency signings in recent history. And the 2 have been outside linebacker Julius Peppers and tight end Jared Cook. That's all. But let me tell you the players who the Packers let go or were too cheap to make an attempt to keep. Cornerback Casey Hayward, cornerback Tramon Williams, cornerback Devon House, and now the biggest hole, ironically, is cornerback. Fullback John Kuhn, linebacker Mike Neal, and perhaps Ted Thompson made the dumbest football move in NFL history by releasing Pro Bowl and widely regarded as the best guard in the NFL in Josh Sitton. If he was that much of a problem in the locker room, you trade him. You don't give him away for free. The decisions Thompson has made have been plain awful. And he's better be lucky he's really good at drafting, or he may have been fired a long time ago. And the third reason is lack of depth. The Packers played the Dallas Cowboys with 1 active running back, Eddie Lacy, and they barely used him. The Packers used wide receivers Ty Montgomery and Randall Cobb to fill in at running back. And it was good to see the players' versatility, but come on, McCarthy. The Packers had a capable back on the practice squad by the name of Don Jackson, the rookie out of Nevada who finished his career at Nevada averaging more than 5 yards a carry and rushed for over 1,000 yards last season. And the Packers couldn't even give him a shot. Not 1 carry. Didn't even activate him. Also, the Packers were down their 3 top corners in Sam Shields, who was just placed on IR, Demarius Randall, who was hurt in the first half, and Quentin Rollins, and we're also down a safety in Chris Banjo. And I guarantee you, if the Packers went out and spent the money on their corners, those injuries wouldn't have been that big of a problem as they turned out to be. They'd still have Jamal Williams and Casey Hayward, who was a solid slot corner. And by default, the Packers would have a top 3, if not the best secondary in football. And if I may go off topic for a second, Dak Prescott is the dink and dunk king. And having a corner like Casey Hayward would have been huge for the Packers in that game. Overall, the Packers have a few problems they need to iron out before getting back on track, and most of the problems are fixable. And if the Packers don't win the Super Bowl this year, and I mean win it, I firmly believe this will be the end of the Mike McCarthy era and quite possibly the Ted Thompson era in Green Bay.